Deepti Laurent is with me on the set now to take a look at what the papers are saying today. Hi, Deepti.
Hi, Jeannie.
Lots of focus again today on Syria, especially after that UN meeting Tuesday.
Well, that meeting ended in a deadlock, of course, with resolutions presented by both the U.S. and Russia being vetoed. That impasse could open the path to unilateral strikes now. That's what L'Orient Le Jour, a Lebanese French language paper, says on its front page. Now, from the pan-Arab paper Al Arab, in a way, the city of the Syrian suburb of Douma, the one that was the site of this alleged poison gas attack on the weekend, has become the poisonous symbol of Syria, figuratively and literally, as you see in this cartoon. The cartoonist portrays the toxic future of Douma as a tree that's being watered by poison, that person being a Syrian, representing the Syrian regime. At the same time, you see it's sort of wrapping itself around the Syrian regime, so it begs the question, could this be finally the undoing of the Syrian government? Remains to be seen, though.
Now, the Russian papers, however, are giving a very different spin on things.
Well, from the Russian papers, we're seeing quite a different story. A political scientist for the daily paper Izvestia calls a UN meeting where the US and its allies accused Russia and Syria of using chemical weapons as a, quote, provocation. This despite a, quote, despite an absence of proof. Now, the West, for this writer, created the situation in Syria, and he laments what he calls Donald Trump's short-sightedness.
Next now, there is something completely different, a selfie that's making the rounds this week, particularly on social media. Now, this is a picture of the Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri, the Moroccan king, and the Saudi Crown Prince, all reunited in Paris.
It's a really chummy photo, as you see there, a kind of bromance reunion, you might say, in a swag restaurant here in Paris, according to the Middle East Eye. This was accompanied by the statement, "No comment." The reason being, the reason that this has gone viral is that the three men pose like buddies, but have a far more complicated relationship. That's according to the Middle East Eye. They note that Morocco and Saudi Arabia have tensions over Rabah's bid for the 2026 Football World Cup. While things aren't much better for Hariri, who of course announced his resignation as Lebanese Prime Minister from Saudi Arabia, but hasn't gotten the warm welcome he thought he would get. Now, from the Arab press, it's a different point of view. The pan-Arab paper Al Arab says this shows just how strong the political relationship is between the three countries, and hails what it says is a picture that tells 1,000 words.
Sports news now, and you've got something on that incredible match that was between Roma and Barcelona Tuesday, and that's got all of the sports papers buzzing.
It has indeed, Jeannie. That match saw the Italian team AS Roma's stunning comeback in the second leg of its quarterfinal match against Barcelona in the Champions League on Tuesday. For the second year in a row, Barcelona has been eliminated in the quarterfinals. Roma came back from a 1-4 loss in its away game to win 3-0 at home on Tuesday. They're now into the semi-finals. There's no excuse for this failure. That's what the Spanish paper Sport says. As you see behind me, a very somber black front page, probably representing just how they're feeling right now. Corriere dello Sport, which is an Italian sports paper, much more colorful on its front page, emphatically saying Roma has become a legend now. While I quite like the French sports paper L'Equipe's front page, they call it a romantada, a play on the words of the Spanish word remontada, which means comeback.
All right. In Spain, meanwhile, a storm is brewing over a fake degree scandal that's involving two politicians.
Those politicians are Cristina Cifuentes and Pablo Casado. They're both from the ruling Popular Party. They're facing calls to step down, actually, after being accused of obtaining master's degrees without ever having gone to class or writing a dissertation. This story actually broke in Spain last month, but Cristina Cifuentes has now produced her master's degree. The problem is the people who allegedly signed it say that they never actually signed that degree and that their signatures were forged. For his part, Pablo Casado says he was never expected to attend class or sit for exams during his degree. Anyway, Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy, for the moment, is standing by them.
Next, now, Deepti, you've got an article from France 24's partner site Mashable about the first ever technology ambassador appointed to Silicon Valley.
This is super interesting, Jeannie. Think of it as a political experiment. His name is Kasper Klinger. He was Denmark's ambassador to Indonesia until last year when he was named the country's technology ambassador in Silicon Valley. The country says, first of all, technology has become a part of politics, so it makes sense. And secondly, it's important to have political representation to counterbalance scandals like the one that's taking place now with Facebook's data hijacking. Critics say it's nothing more than politicians rubbing shoulders with tech giants to lobby for their national governments. But for Mashable, at least, this is something that all countries should be trying out. They employ a new word, tech-plomacy.
All right, just to wrap up now, Deepti, you have a piece from the Japan Times about the key to the longevity of life.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'd love to have a Peter Pan-like existence, Jeannie. Well, this article says it could be possible. It's crucial life advice from the world's oldest man, Masazo Nonaka, what the Japan Times calls a super centenarian. He was certified on Tuesday as the oldest man at 112 years of age. He says he grew up in a large family and his parents ran a hot springs inn. The key to his long-lasting life, relaxing with regular soaks in hot springs and eating sweets and cakes.
Ooh, I like that last bit. Thanks, Deepti. Thank you so much for that look at the papers today. You can get a closer look at our press review, of course, on our website. That address, France24.com.